Hi guys, my name's Will Dean. I'm the author in the forest. It is great to see you. So, riding courses, huh? Okay, so first of all, please do subscribe and like this video if you enjoy it. Please do add your comments underneath. Any questions you might have about riding courses, let me know. I will answer them. I'm sorry about this scratch on my head. Can you see it? I've been climbing a tree. I just wanted to see if I could do it. I'm not 14 anymore. I'm 40 this year. I do love climbing stuff, and I found this tree that I hadn't kind of come across before, and I thought maybe I could climb it. And I have my Wellington boots on, which is not ideal, and I got a bit scratched up here and there, but I climbed most of the tree, but the forehead got a scratch from some annoying branch thing, twig. I got beaten up by a twig. So, sorry about that. Can you see it? Scratch right across my head. Not a good look. So, I do apologize. I'm still wearing the Team Tuva t-shirt. I've got a few of these. Maybe I should do a giveaway. Should I do a giveaway of a Team Tuva t-shirt? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I will do that. Maybe a Team Tuva t-shirt and a signed, dedicated hardback of one of my books, Dark Pines or Red Snow. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a giveaway. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I will do that. Maybe I should. Maybe I will. Riding courses. So, first thing I want to say about riding courses, you do not need to do one. Don't feel like you have to do a writing course. Okay? If you can't afford to do a writing course, which I think is most people, if you don't have time to do a writing course because you're working a couple of jobs, because you're caring for someone, because you've got young kids, because you don't like to go outside, because you're shy or you're socially awkward, don't worry about it. You do not need to do a writing course. Writing courses tend to be super expensive. That's just the truth of it. And I think they probably do help a lot of people who do them, but you do not have to do them. I did not do any writing courses. I could not afford to do these writing courses. The kind of writing courses I'm talking about, often in Europe at least, they happen a lot in London. They cost thousands and thousands, like up towards £10,000, some of them, to do the course. Not that many people can do that, right? They do give you a step up in some ways. They give you access to agents. They do provide you with like an insight into the publishing world. But I'll tell you what, through this YouTube channel that I have set up, I'm going to try and do the same thing. I can't really teach you how to write, but I can give you insights into the publishing world. I can give you tips on submitting to agents. And if you have specific questions about writing, about character, about craft, about plotting, about atmosphere, let me know and I'll do my best to answer them for free. So I'm not saying this is like an alternative to a writing course. It really, really isn't. I'm super, super unqualified, but I'll do what I can. Like, I'll answer your questions. I've been around for a few years now. I've been through a lot of stuff, so I can share with you what I've worked out so far. But first things first, you do not need to do a writing course. If you do not have thousands of pounds in your bank account, you do not need to do a writing course. The best way to become a good writer is to read a lot. Read good books, read different kinds of books, read diverse books. That is the best way to be a writer. You basically need to read a lot, you need to write a lot, and you need to have your eyes and your ears and your heart open to things. And by that sounds kind of weird and fancy, but what I mean is you need to kind of be open to having ideas. You need to expose yourself in a way to failure, to rejection, which is really, really tough. Like, I wrote a bad book before Dark Pines that will never be published, that will always be locked away in a drawer. Was that a tough experience for me? Yes. Did it knock my confidence? Yes. Did it mean I got rejected a lot? Oh yeah. And you know what? That was a good thing, because it made me want it even more. I didn't do a writing course, partly because they're expensive, partly because I thought I could figure it out on my own. I can hear a raccoon. Wait a second. Hey, raccoon. The raccoon came in. Can you see him? Raccoon. Okay, raccoon's behind me. So you don't need to do a writing course. You do need to read a lot. You do need to write a lot. And you do need to be super duper. Look at this guy. He's like a lion. He's like a tiger. He's like a raccoon. Okay, but the thing about writing courses, which I really like, it's not necessarily getting access to agents. It's not necessarily having authors come in and teach you. It's doing something, taking a positive, active step to say, I am a writer. I'm not an aspiring writer. I'm not a wannabe writer. I'm not a writer in training. I'm a writer. I'm writing something. That's a good thing. That's a good kind of mindset to get yourself in. And now I'm going to give a recommendation. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not sponsored in any way. This is totally off my own back. But although I didn't do any writing courses, any expensive writing courses, I did go to a festival. I went twice, I think. It's called the Festival of Writing in York. This is probably only going to be relevant to, generally, to European-based writers. Okay, but I'm sure there are similar kind of festivals in the US, in Asia, in Australia. If you know of them, link them in the comments, and I'll talk about them in another video. But in York, in the UK, Festival of Writing, I think it happens every September. I went twice. It's not that expensive. It can be under £100 if you just go for the day. If you go for the whole weekend, it's a couple of £100. So it's like it's a smaller commitment in terms of money and in terms of time. And what happens is you go there and you have lectures. You go to lectures. You do workshops with agents, with book doctors, and with authors. So you can focus on your craft. You can focus on how to submit to a literary agent. You can focus on self-publishing and indie publishing. And the quality of the lectures and the quality of the workshops is superb. I'm going to give a couple of shout outs to people who were teaching when I went to this festival. So Julie Cohen, who is a fantastic writer, she wrote Yesterday. She's just written Louis and Louise. Brilliant writers, sold squillions of books. Very, very generous person. She's awesome, and she teaches and does one-to-ones. Really recommend you go and see her. Another person I recommend is called Shelley Harris, who wrote Jubilee and Vigilante. She is a great writer, and she is a very wise and supportive person. So go to her lectures. Get one-to-ones with her if you can. Talk about your story, talk about your writing journey, and she will give a lot to you. She's brilliant. Shelley Harris. Okay, the final person is an agent who I had a one-to-one with, and I also went to her lecture. Her lecture was on like how to write a submissions package, how to submit to the slush pile. Her name is Madeline Milburn of the Madeline Milburn Literary Agency. She's a super agent. She's a super person. And in her lecture, I learned a lot about how to write a cover letter, how to write a synopsis, how to get my first 30 pages or whatever they were in good shape. And then in my one-to-one with her, I talked about that terrible book. I think I was pitching that terrible book to her. I'm sorry that I was talking about that terrible book with you. But anyway, she was very, very cool and gentle and supportive and insightful and helpful. She was great. I would recommend you go to the Festival of Writing in York. The first year I went, there was like a kind of open mic kind of competition where you read the first 500 words of your novel. Joanna Cannon, international superstar bestseller Joanna Cannon, writer of The Trouble with Goats and Sheep and 3 Things About Elsie. She was there. She was nervous. She was on stage and she read the first 500 words of her book, which I think turned out to be The Trouble with Goats and Sheep, and the whole room was kind of like in awe of her writing. And that was a real moment in history, I think, that I witnessed. And I spoke to her afterwards and I said, well done, congratulations. And she was still kind of shaken by it. But she's a hell of a writer and a lovely, lovely human being and a great supporter of emerging talent. So shout out to Joanna Cannon. I'll link her below as well, or somewhere up below. I'm still, yeah. I would suggest attend the Festival of Writing in York. I think it's run by an outfit called Jericho Writers now. It used to be run by the Writers Workshop. I think they're now called Jericho Writers, but it's the same team. I think they're headed up by Harry Bingham, who is a very well-known and successful crime writer in his own right. I'll link to him. But I gotta say, if you can't make it to one of these more expensive, more time-consuming courses in London, and I'm sure they're great, I am not dissing them at all, then get yourself to the Festival of Writing, get into some lectures, get into some workshops, and have 1 or 2 or 3 one-to-ones with agents, with book doctors, with authors, you literally have nothing to lose. And the plus side is I made some friends for life at those festivals. So I highly recommend them. So writing courses are not essential. If you can't do them, do not feel bad. But writing festivals can be really, really good. It also, one of the best things about a writing festival is it gives you a sense of community. You're not alone. Everybody else is sharing their war stories, you know, their open wounds of rejection and the fact that they lost 20,000 words. It's difficult to become a writer, a published writer, but you will get there. And things like the Festival of Writing in York, I think, will help you on your way. Okay, if you liked this video, please click like, click subscribe. If there's any particular subjects you want me to talk on, let me know and I will do that and I will answer your questions. I will see you soon.
What about your girlfriend?
Well, things are getting pretty serious right now. I mean, we chat online for like 2 hours every day, so I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.